If you have been desperately wanting God to punish that narcissist for what they have done, if you seek revenge on them, then let me be the bearer of good news for you. God is going to avenge you in His time and in His way, for He is the ultimate source of vindication and justice. See, narcissists cannot escape the consequences of their actions because of karmic law. What you sow is what you shall reap. Now, you may argue, oh, why is that narcissist roaming freely then? Why am I the one struggling? Because they have been given temporary freedom. Yes, you're struggling only for you to grow out of it. You are going through a very painful process of change, but they have been given some temporary space only for it to be taken away later. The loss is more intense when you lose something after having it, after feeling and experiencing it, and that is what happens to them. When God, universe, or higher self has had enough with a narcissist, his mighty hand strikes them and they are left with no place to run. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. The topic for today's episode is 5 acts of justice from God towards a wicked narcissist. Number one, they end up with users and abusers who are just like them. They are given a lot of chances, and you were one of those chances. They are given love. God shows mercy. Probably that narcissist did not get any love in their childhood. They were neglected, abandoned, abused. And then when they end with you, you offer everything. If you are a woman, you raise them like a mother. You just say, okay, fine, I'm not going to expect anything from you. If you are a husband and your narcissistic wife used and abused you, you became that father she never had, but that is not enough. They kept taking advantage of you, and now no more. God is forcing the same type of people into their life. They change their ways of functioning, they become less controlling, they become differently manipulative, but none of it works anymore. They keep ending up with mega narcissists, psychopaths who come in and hit them like a ton of bricks, destroy their control, and make them codependent in many ways. They steal away their finances, take advantage of their narcissistic personality traits, do all sorts of things that triggers narcissistic collapse. Despite trying to go for a different person to find somebody like you, they keep downgrading. And that is what fills them with a lot more rage. That is God's way of saying, you experience yourself. This is who you exactly are. This is what you did to others. And now that it's being done to you, you think it's unjust, that they are cheaters, abusers, gold diggers. No, you're exactly like that. And this is what you will experience from now onwards. Which is why, if you see that narcissist with a new person and they are posting a lot of pictures, it seems like they are happy, don't lose hope, for that may not be the reality. Who knows, that other person may be equally narcissistic and they're taking advantage. I know of so many cases where it is happening, that narcissist has moved on, but the next person is just like them and they are being taught a lesson. You just wait and watch. Now, you may argue, oh, well, I have been ending up with narcissists one after the other. Does that mean God is also punishing me? Of course not. That is a different scenario. From a spiritual perspective, I would say God is sending a message through these people. Universe is trying to show you, you need to grow out of this cycle. You need to recognize how worthy you are, how capable you are, how strong you are, and you deserve a lot of love. Not these users and abusers. It is a catalyst that is being sent your way so that you can complete the process of healing and recognize your purpose. Once you do so, these people are repelled by you. How can I say that? I am living it currently. Number two, and the biggest punishment, in my opinion, their fantasy is destroyed. Let me be ultra specific. If they had aimed for a particular outcome and had worked really hard, like all their life, financially, emotionally, psychologically, even physically, to get that thing, when they are just an inch away from getting it, it's taken away. It's all destroyed. The script is flipped. I can give you tons of examples. I'll start with my personal experience. My father groomed me all his life to be his psychological slave, to be there for him, to never speak louder than him, to always be obedient, subservient. He even told me once that when he prayed before my birth, he wanted a son compliant enough to serve him forever. He told me that it was a confession. But then you see what happened. The script was flipped. According to him, he invested money in me. Okay, I was supposed to pay back. When he gave me money for my education, it was seen as a loan that I had to repay plus interest. But towards the end of it, I woke up. I understood that my family was rotten inside out. And what did I do? You know it very well. I left. I went no contact. That was a huge betrayal, not only from me, but from God. Like, what? I raised him to be a cow. I raised him to be my minion, my extension. I wanted him to earn for me, to be an ATM for me. And now that he has all sorts of freedom, how come? How is it possible? God made it quite easy for me, to be honest, especially financially in the beginning. Ways were opened for me, and that was not less than a miracle. Things became so easy when I moved out and I kept finding solutions. They kept coming to me. That is divine intervention. And he observed that. He noticed that. He would even tell me, oh, a guy of your age should struggle for money. And here you have it. I don't understand how it works. Why you have it? Just forget it and work for something else. Go for that tougher thing, that option that would require you to come to me and seek my help. That is when they feel totally taken advantage of, betrayed, abandoned, neglected, isolated. That's when their idea of God is massively challenged. There are so many examples in different religious books of kings, powerful people who challenged God and worked really hard to create something heavenly or godly. See, I'm not less than you, I can create it as well. God gave them all the space, fine. Put in all the resources you have to build it, and then took it away from them before they could enjoy it. There is a lesson in those stories for us. God gives them all the leeway, not for them to have the freedom, no, just for them to know what they're doing. God tries to be merciful enough for them to reflect and ask, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But they keep choosing darkness over light, and that is what consumes them towards the end of it. Number three, God devastates a narcissist by making them more paranoid. Should I say, their paranoia becomes visible. All narcissists, in one way or the other, are paranoid. Now, I am not saying that all people who are paranoid are narcissists. Please do not generalize or think that opposite is true as well. No, because a lot of survivors of complex trauma have paranoia as their trauma response. I'm not calling those people narcissists. What I'm saying is narcissists think, oh, my brother or my son or the government or that agency is after me. They're after my money, or they're trying to harm me in one way or the other. My father would say horrible things like, "You stop turning on TV when we are talking about something sensitive or money. Who knows? They might steal our information." Now, to a certain degree, things are happening, like with the data tracking and how those applications are stealing your data. That is true. But they take it to another level. Like, don't turn on that radio because they're listening to you. Don't do this. It's not just that. They can't even trust their own son, their own partner, their own brother. For example, you are with your narcissistic, paranoid person in a garage. Okay, it's a parking lot. There are many cars. They'll say, quickly, let's get out of here because something is going to happen. It's a safe place. Nobody's around. Everything's fine. You checked. No, see, we're okay. We're safe. No, I'm telling you, they'll start yelling at you. Let's say you have a broken leg. You can't walk. You will be forced to run. And I'm sharing a real example with you. They don't care. That's how they live their life, walking on burning fire. I'm not saying eggshells, I'm saying burning fire. They do not find peace because peace is not for the wicked. That's exactly what happens to them. They are always trying to know what's going to happen, what's going to happen. which makes them super, super anxious. Number four, this is also my personal experience. God prepares them for agony when it comes to their end. You know, all people, especially who are close to their death, have visions. Some people say, "Oh, my mother is coming to take me." Have you had similar experiences? Do you know of hospice people who might have shared these things with you? Drop them in the comments, whatever you know. So people say, "Oh, now my pet is coming for me, my grandma, all my deceased family members are coming." It's a very divinely experience. Nothing can explain it. You just have to witness it. But that's not what happens with narcissists. When my malignant narcissistic grandfather died, he would say horrible things like, "There is a black shadow trying to haunt me. There is a big axe in his hands." And he would run away from it as if it was there. I'm talking about the days, like his end days, near his death. Then he would talk about his weird dreams, like something is chasing me. Then he would all of a sudden start running to find a corner. Why? Oh, earthquake. There's earthquake. Like, I feel like this whole thing is shaking. He would also have visions like sun setting upon him. Can you imagine that? Or him losing his way in darkness. He would share these things, like he would have very vivid visions towards the end. Everybody rubbed it off as, "Oh, this poor old guy, he doesn't even know what he's talking about." It was an indication of what afterlife had for him. Now, I am nobody to judge. God is merciful. Who knows? He may forgive him. Who knows? Things might be different. I'm just sharing these things with you so that you know it's not okay for them, neither here nor there. If you are a believer in reincarnation, they are born as something else, but not a human, because they wasted their life. Number five, as I said, God gives them all the freedom. Now, let me expand on that. God gives them money. You will see a lot of these raging narcissists are very wealthy, billionaires. I'm not saying all, but most of these billionaires who turn out to be politicians as well are mega narcissists, psychopaths running the world. They're given each and everything for others to be envious of them. They reach new levels of success that most people only dream of achieving. But towards the end, when it falls apart for them, when it's taken away in the worst way possible and imaginable. With that, they're exposed. They face nothing but humiliation, because having wealth, having power does not mean God is merciful on them, even though in today's world, those are the things that can be of benefit. This life is nothing but suffering for them. They have it here. They are given, let's say, a responsibility or a test, but they keep failing. And when it's taken away, that is what triggers the ultimate, final, total collapse. And with that, they wither away, they fade away, because they taste power inside out. They know what it is like to be the supreme. But then when they are kicked down from that seat, they can't tolerate the reality, the newly formed reality. Now they are on the feet of somebody else. That is totally annihilating for a narcissist, false ego that has seen it all. With that, let's bring this episode to an end, and let me know if you agree with some of my points in the comments below. What do you think God, universe, or higher self does to punish a narcissist, in addition to what I have already shared? I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin. Happy Christmas. Take good care of yourself.